Howdy YouTube, Mike Howell here for Naps, New Age Pipe Smokers. I hope y'all are doing well today. I'm doing pretty good, all things considered. It's a nice, beautiful spring Monday morning. Just a little bit looks like rain, but I don't think it's actually going to rain until tonight. But yeah, a little bit of sun out. Everything's turning green, birds chirping and shit. One of those good to be alive days. So this morning, I am smoking Straight Perique. Not necessarily for pleasure, but for a purpose. I wanted to talk about blending components, specifically smoking straight blending components, in an effort to understand what taste components they bring to a blend, and also how they interact with other components and what that does to the flavors. And that second part, how they interact with other components, I think Perique is a really good leaf for that particular understanding. Because so when I smoke something like, say, Bayou Morning Flake, it's 25% Perique. It's a Virginia Perique blend, and it's pretty darn spicy. Like, it's got a really big spice note along with the fermented fruit notes and the sweetness of the Virginias. And I've noticed, most people think of Virginia Perique blends as spicy, or Burley Perique blends, or anything with Perique in it, really, you usually tend to think of as spicy. But I can tell you, smoking straight Perique, to me, is less spicy than something like Bayou Morning, which is 25% Perique. It does have some spice to it. The straight Perique does, especially as the bowl goes down, but it's mostly more of like a funky sweetness, like what people always talk about, that stewed fruit sweetness. It does have some spice behind it, but yeah, like I said, it's less than I get from a normal strong Virginia Perique blend, which, makes me wonder. I think Eddie Gray at the Pipe Nook did a video on this a couple years back. I don't know, it feels like it's been a long time since I saw it, ran across it. But he seemed to come to that same conclusion, that the Perique itself isn't so much spicy as it is, at least what I think is that it's the play between the Perique and the Virginia. When they meld together, or when Perique melds with anything else that has a little bit of heat or a little spice to it, it amplifies that spice, so it does something completely different than what you get from smoking either Virginia by itself or Perique by itself, or Burley by itself or Perique by itself, or whatever leaf you're blending with. And a lot of components are like that. Where the blend, if a blender knows what they're doing, the blend is where the sum is more, or the outcome is more than the sum of the parts. You get more than if you just took the taste components from this leaf varietal and this leaf varietal and this leaf varietal and put those together. You get more than that when the leaf is actually combined. It does all kinds of different things that you never would have expected. I found smoking straight Latakia to be very similar to that. The taste is not at all what you would expect it to be if you're used to smoking things like Pirate Cake or Star of the East Flake, or some of those other just like lat bombs. If you smoke Latakia by itself, you would expect that woody incense note to just completely take over, for it to be basically a more extreme version of that flavor you get in a blended Latakia blend. But That hasn't been my experience at all. You do get that smoky, overwhelming campfire flavor, but it's very one-dimensional and thus kind of bland, and it doesn't overwhelm the palate like I would expect it to. It's very interesting, though, how that seems to work. So I recommend to anybody, especially to people just getting into smoking a pipe, to buy some individual blending tobaccos that are just straight components with nothing else added. Cornell and Deal's really good about that. They have quite a bit. They have a bright Virginia flake and you could just get dark burley, or they're just regular burley blending components. They're oriental blending components. You can get straight Latakia, straight Perique from them. Sutliff is good about that as well. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of Sutliff stuff, but I probably haven't given them enough of a chance. Most of the blends of theirs I've had are not blends that are in my particular wheelhouse now. But they also have some good blending Virginias and things like that. So it's really good if you want to, understand where these flavors come from, and makes it easier to navigate what kind of tobaccos you think you'll like in the future. Order some of these blending components, just, a couple ounces of each, and smoke some of it straight. Smoke some of it blended, play around with different amounts of different things, just in small amounts. Mix some stuff up, let it sit in a jar for a couple weeks, and then try it out. And see what the different flavor combinations do. Tasting journals can be really useful for things like this too. Even if it's just something where you, send yourself an email, or keep a Microsoft Word document on your computer or something like that, or have a notebook sitting in your normal smoking area where you jot down what you taste from these different components and what you taste when you put them together. It can be really educational and really helpful in navigating what sort of new blends you might like to try and what to expect from different blends and different blenders. Straight Perique is surprisingly good, actually. Definitely gets a little more spice as the bowl goes down, but I stand by that. Even smoking this, it's less spicy to me than most spicy Virginia Perique blends. Maybe it's that the heat from the sugar in the Virginias can contribute to the spiciness. I don't know. But yeah, interesting to think about. I recommend smoking when you're smoking these blending tobaccos too. Try smoking them out of a clay or a meerschaum that's clean. You get a really pure tobacco taste that way. That helps you to understand, one, the pure flavor of the tobacco. Not only does it make it easier to understand what the different blending components do to each other, but it makes it easier to see what your different smoking mediums do to the taste of tobacco, because you'll taste something completely different if you smoke in a clay versus smoking in a briar or a corn cob or a meerschaum or other kinds of wood. But to me, clay seems to be the most unadulterated taste, where you just get the tobacco. So smoking all those components and various blends out of clay pipes can help you understand what your different smoking mediums are doing to the flavor of the tobacco. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. I guess I'm gonna finish this bowl of Perique and get on my way to work. It's already 7:30 and I was hoping to be at the paint store by now, but I mean, I had to smoke this bowl of Perique. Yep. Anyway, I'll see y'all later. And remember, The universe might piss down the back of your neck every single day, but it will only drown you once, so keep your fucking chin up.